Hi, this is on Imagination with the Healing Gardens, and welcome to Shifting Perspectives. I have finally reached a point in my education, arrogance. I don't believe in arrogance. Confidence, certainty. That's really what confidence is. It's certainty. You know, my whole life, I've looked at people and I've gone, how do you just not get this? How do you not see what to me is so obvious? And everything is about perspective. Everything is always about perspective. And you get to this point where I got to where I am and I look at psychology and I just see what they're saying and doing. And it's mind-boggling to me because they are complicating something that is to me so simple. And I hate on them. I actively hate on psychology, traditional psychologists, NIM therapists. I actively do. And I know I do. And it's something I keep coming back to. Why do I hate them so much? And it's because we depend upon them so much to do a job that they are doing so inefficiently, so inadequately, that they are causing more harm than good after we have entrusted them with our safety. It's like a bunch of incompetent medical doctors who are claiming that they're professionals, botching surgery after surgery. And I'm just going, what the fuck is wrong with you? People are trusting you to do the goddamn job, and you start right off by telling people right in the door, you have no hope. And I realized that it's not that they're stupid. It's because psychology is so easy for me. Psychology is so fucking easy for me that it's literally equivalent to kindergarten math. My ideas and my concepts, to me, are common sense. It's so fucking simple. And I look at people, I look at psychologists and professionals, and I see these dissertations going out. I see people with doctorate's degree pouring out all of this information, and I'm just going, this is fucking garbage. Why are you complicating something so simple? People will say to me, have you heard about this new diagnosis? New diagnosis? Why are they still focusing on diagnosis? What the fuck are they doing? It's insanity to me. So I have a choice. Either they are really fucking stupid, or I am really fucking smart. But society has this thing on us where it's constantly telling us that we have to conform to everybody else, that we have to suppress that. And the problem is, I am so smart that I was beaten until I forgot how smart I was. I was so smart that I scared the fuck out of my entire family, and they beat me to the point of brain damage to hope that they might suppress some of my intelligence. I am so smart that as I heal, my intelligence is coming back to me. And I keep getting to these points where I have more and more shifts, and I heal more and more. And then I gain more and more clarity, because it's not just my memory that's coming back to me. It's my intelligence that's coming back to me. And the more my intelligence is restored to me, the more I'm beginning to realize exactly how fucking smart I am. So now I am confronted with one of two truths. Either everybody else is really that fucking stupid, or I am that really fucking smart. And I've already been told by somebody with 4 doctorate's degrees in psychology, you're a fucking psychological genius. And I need to just finally accept that and own it. I am a fucking genius in psychology, the real fucking deal, because I have a high school diploma. And the stuff that I know about psychology is just that common sense to me, because it's that easy for me. It's equivalent to kindergarten math. And I really need to stop being so hateful and vindictive towards the field of psychiatry and psychology, because looking at what they're doing, it's not that they're doing anything wrong. It's that I am just so ahead of where I am with this, that it's just, I really need to just embrace this and claim it, because I'm seeing more and more as it comes together. And I'm going, this is making a lot more sense. This is making so much more sense. I have a massive influx of emotion. Yesterday, not even yesterday, it was, what day are we on today? It was Sunday night. Sunday, I went to a picnic and I saw my partner there for the first time in 4 months. And we mingled, we did our thing, and we moved and we shifted and we did our usual dance. And It was beautiful and it was perfect. And it confirmed a lot of psychological things that just clicked right into place. And then I had this massive moment of just going, oh my God, am I his emotional prosthetic? So from around 10 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, I had this massive, am I his emotional prosthetic or does he love me? And if he doesn't love me and I'm just his emotional prosthetic, well, that changes everything. So I sat down and I analyzed everything and I laid out all the evidence. And the evidence I laid out was so precise and so smooth and so articulate that I was able to pull from logic and just click. Oh, he loves me. And here's the evidence. And here's the substantial evidence that I can also pull from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There you go. Now I know he's not an emotional prosthetic. Now I know I am not his emotional prosthetic. I know he's in love with me. And here's all the pertaining evidence. And I felt every doubt, every insecurity, every fear just slide off of me. Every little shade of concern gone. And it hit yesterday afternoon, and then it just grew and it expanded. And today I woke up, and it is the first day of my life. I woke up and I truly feel solid to the point where I know who I am. And I say this with the 8th perspective, like, whoa, I know who I am. And then you get to the 9th perspective and you go, wow, I really know who I am. And the whole thing is just a process of defining yourself. And part of my self-definition is owning the fact that I am a fucking psychological genius, which is why I'm able to do the work that I do. I can prove that I'm a psychological genius because I just found Dr. Graves' spiral dynamics 2 months ago. And I had this massive hesitation inside of me that said, oh, don't do that. Oh, that's not moral. It's not moral to say those words. You have to be humble. Why? I know my weakness. And it is not psychology. I know my weakness. I can ask for help. I do need to ask for help a lot with other things, not in psychology. So I'm sitting here looking at it going, why? Why can't we claim it? And I see it all over the internet. Don't talk about how great you are. Don't do this. Keep your ego in check. Make sure you stay submissive and naive. Make sure you stay absolutely without any self-value. Make sure you keep your ego in check so you never step on other people who feel like they need to use you. Why are we telling people to suppress our egos and our pride? The only people who actually tell us to do that are narcissists. Why are we making it easy for the narcissists? Why is society conditioning us to be obedient? Why are people drilling it into us that we need to be so righteous with keeping our ego in check? You know what? No, I am going to fucking reject righteousness right now. I am fucking done with righteousness because righteousness has not done a fucking thing for our society. Righteousness has absolutely put us in the most horrendous situation that I could possibly fathom. Righteousness is the cause of all of this fucking garbage. We've been told to aspire to the state of righteousness. We have been told and conditioned to be obedient and to be moral and to be good, all for the sake of righteousness. What they're really doing is praising us for being a victim. What they're really doing is conditioning us to be a slave and then rewarding us and praising us with their approval, love, and acceptance for being such a good slave. So fuck righteousness. I am a fucking psychological genius and I'm finally owning it. Now, that being said, I'm free to be smart now and be as smart as I'm going to be. So fuck off. I'm going to do this now. This is how this works. I can feel emotions absolutely building inside of me. Happy ones, positive, good ones. I mean, they feel really fucking good. And I just feel like this vessel of just like I'm trying to contain this massive amount of power. And I can't because it's just spilling out so much. People call this my energy. And it's all emotions. And I feel it It's painful because I'm holding it in. And the only time it doesn't hurt is when I exude it, is when I push it out, because it's supposed to go out. That's what feels right. That's what feels good. That's what gives me joy. When I take this insane amount of power inside of me, all emotionally charged with my positive energy, and I just want to, boom, push it out there. And that's all I want to do is just, boom, push it out. I want to push it down through all of these 8 billion little threads, just pulsing through my body. Boom, 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 boom. And I just want to span it out and push out all of my positivity. And maybe if I exude that much positivity, I can just push it all out among the threads and say, here, have my sunshine today. Boom. Because that's really what I want to do right now, is just take all of my energy and push it through these threads that are traveling through me and just make everyone feel fucking good today. That's what I want. Now, I know I'm not the only one, because I've been watching people. I watch people. And I see people who are hypersensitive. They're not hypersensitive. They have this. I know exactly what they are. I recognize them. They wanted to call me an HSP, but I'm like, oh no, I'm not highly sensitive. You're highly insensitive. There's a difference. Don't project your bullshit onto me. Don't you dare give me your labels because you're the one who's incompetent. I'm not incompetent. I'm fucking epic. You're the incompetent one. That's why you're projecting, because you haven't fixed your insecurity. Get your shit together and keep your garbage off of me. By the way, that's a boundary. So I do my shit. I boundary up. I keep their projected shit off of me. I certainly don't internalize their problem today. Now I got my sunlight here. I got my imagination sunlight, and I am going to sit here and just imagine pushing this out along all of these 8 billion threads, and I am going to manifest that I will have world peace. I will see world peace, and I will be using my Triadic Healing to get us to world peace, and I am going to show you how. So this is lesson 1. This is how we do it. If you are an HSP, you really need to get your fucking ass fixed, because it's going to depend upon us taking all of our positive energy and pushing it out onto these 8 billion threads that are linked to us. But if you are fucked up, if you have not recovered from your trauma, if you are fear-based run and operating, it's not going to work for you. You're going to send out the wrong message. If you're eagerly at the front lines of this thing going, ooh, 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 I want to help, but you are running off of your fear system, what kind of energy do you think you're going to pulse out to the people? Seriously, what kind of help do you think you're going to be if you are fear-based system? You want to help people? Fix yourself. Go to Triadic Healing. Take care of it there. I've had people tell me I need to charge money for it. I've gotten that advice a lot. I don't know yet. I'll do what feels good, and I will do what feels right. But right now, you see, I don't believe in anything that's not organic. It has to be organic. It has to be raw. It has to be right. It has to be authentic. So I don't believe in marketing. I believe in the power of the shit I say. I believe in my mind. I believe that my message is so fucking precise, and I articulate it so fucking well that I believe the right people will find me and they will do the marketing and the talking for me. Oh, I believe this so fucking wholeheartedly that I just go on and I do my podcasting shit every day. I know exactly how the cognitive mind works. I can see all the pieces. I can see how scarcity and abundance actually move and shift with each other. And I can see how pessimism and optimism are part of that. And I can see how abuse puts us over into this massive mindset of scarcity, of poverty. And it doesn't have to be that way. You know, there's this story in the Bible, Jericho, that are so large in size. Somebody figured out how to manifest in that place. Somebody figured out how to manifest. That's what I think that is. You know what I think giants are, truly? I think that's people playing around with their powers of manifestation. It's all about mindset. When you think things like, you have to grow old and die, you manifest aging. When you think things like, I have to be a man and fit within the confines of being a man, you're manifesting that shit. What if you have no limitations? What if we are gods, condensed in putting ourselves into little body-like boxes that aren't supposed to be holding this kind of energy. Maybe that's why we're aging. Maybe that's why I look so young. It's because I don't contain my energy. Not at all. It hurts for me to contain my energy, and I know there are people out there who it hurts them. So when I'm having a day like today, where I just have so much energy and I'm just feeling it and it hurts to hold it inside, I'm going, why am I holding it inside? If it feels good to let it out, then let it out. Now, how do you, knowing what you are, Anna, how do you let that out? Oh, well, that's easy. That's communication. You speak it. You always speak it. You always speak it. You always speak it. Speak and it does become. Every time. What if words are more powerful than we think they are? What if words are the most powerful thing of all? What if long ago we lost a war and we had to hide? What if the children didn't know how to be quiet? What if, while we were hiding for centuries and the children couldn't be quiet, what if we started teaching the children to be quiet? You know, that's something that's always wondered. Always wondered about that. Children should be seen and not heard. Why? Who was the first person to say that? Why do we say that? Where did it come from? Words always come from somewhere. Why do we tell the children to be quiet? Why do we tell the children to be quiet? When did that start? How long have we been saying it? Why do we tell the children to be quiet? You know when else we were told to be quiet? The Diary of Anne Frank. There was a lot of keep the children quiet. They were hiding too. Who were we hiding from? Why do we tell our children to be quiet? My mind always drifts to Harry Potter at this point. Dumbledore's sister. What happens if you were to take your own magic and your own power, and if you were to condense it inside of you? By the way, that's an Easter egg. And I'm just looking at it all going, what if? So what if there is a vast power inside of us that's meant to come out? And what if we have forgotten how to take it out? It's in the words. It's always in the words. That's why we obsess over spellcraft. It's in the words. It always starts with music. It always starts with a song. I think Tolkien was closer than he realized to the truth. Silmarillion. That's also an Easter egg. So I'm putting all of these pieces in my mind together while I'm looking at all of the threads and the breadcrumbs I've left for myself all over the place. And I'm counting it all up and I'm just connecting dots left and right. And it keeps coming back to Ireland. And it keeps coming back to the Tua de Danann and the Firbog. And I'm looking at it all going, you know what I see? There's truth in legend. There's always truth in story. There is always some truth in story. I spent decades reading through the history books, weeding my way through all the lies and the bullshit to find the common denominators that ties all the threads together. And here I am now, having the severe ache of just needing to release everything. Because it hurts if I don't. So I want to take all of that energy and just push it through the threads and say, find me. Come find me. Because I really need to start teaching people how to do this. And what it is when you take all of that excess energy that you just feel pouring out of you, and instead of allowing it to just flow, instead siphon it through. Siphon it through, find the threads, just grab a hold of them and pull them toward you. Pull them toward you. Turn their eyes to me, I want to say. Turn your eyes to me so I can show you. And I can see world peace. It's so close. I looked at the generational charts and I could see how, oh, look at that. We were at stage 2 and then stage 3 and then stage 4. And as the baby boomers came in, that was stage 4. Gen X was that split, that divide of some of us went with stage 4, some of us went over to stage 5. Millennials came in and they started at stage 5. Now Gen Zs are coming in and they're all starting at Gen 6. Alphas will be Gen 6. And I know that once you get to the majority of the population being stage 5, that's when we start to value growth and education. You know what's coming. I know it's coming. I can see it so fucking clearly. There's going to be a massive explosion of priority shift. The priority shift, it's already started. That's what happened in 2019. There was a priority shift because people suddenly shifted into the 5th perspective and the 6th perspective. And suddenly we saw everything we needed to see with such precision that people are going to start valuing 2 things: growth and education. That's why there is a massive uptick on mental health. Everyone seems to be on a wellness journey today. Did you know? Everyone is going through a wellness journey right now. There is suddenly a divide that's occurring. And either you are on the side of growth and education, or you are being left behind. The problem is the material that we have is all absolutely inadequate because it was created by the 4th perspective, so it doesn't work. That's really the problem with traditional therapy. It is all 4th perspective material, but Triadic Healing is not. Triadic Healing is the only psychology for the New Age. It is 10th perspective material, which means it is the psychology of the New Age. That's what Triadic Healing is. It is the psychology of the New Age. And when you have a bunch of 5th perspectives, entrepreneurs, millennials, when you have a lot of hippies, when you have a lot of New Age thinkers who see the future, who know and believe that we can do better, and we will, because their priorities are different, because they value education and growth, there's going to be a divide. There already is one. And suddenly the psychology we have available to us is garbage because it doesn't work, which is why I threw out all of my psych books, is because it's inadequate. It's not compatible with Triadic Healing. And Triadic Healing is so simple, so clear, so precise, so accessible that you don't need therapists. You can just pick it up, grab it, go through it, done. You know, it's funny. They say that if you purchase something for free, you don't value it. It's only if you pay money for it. $300 feels good. $300 for the full package. It doesn't feel right. No. Nope. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel right. No. It does not feel good. It does not feel right. I do not believe that people have to pay money for it to feel good. I do not believe that people have to pay money for them to value it. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I did not pay for this weed and I value it. That is not true. Money does not come from value. Value does not come from how much you spent on it. No, I do not believe that. Value, you know what? And it really says a lot. It really says a lot. When you put something out there for free and people understand its value, oh, they will pick it up so quickly, or they won't. And if they don't, it's because they don't value it. Now you know exactly what kind of a person you're doing. I have a couple people who are like, oh, I want to work with you. I want to work with you. Okay. But they haven't watched any of my videos. They haven't bothered with any of the work. No, they don't want to work with me. They want to complain. They love their comfort. They're 4th perspectives. So I'm sitting here at this cusp, watching everything fall into place. When we value growth and education, everything's going to change. We're going to completely rip down our education system. It's already started, and we're going to rebuild it because it's so remnant of the 4th perspective that it's useless. And people are starting to figure that out. Our education system is garbage because it's not suited for the 5th and 6th perspective thinkers. We are entering the age of visionaries. And we are leaving the age of foundationals. And that's really it. That is it right there. Yeah, it's time. So, when you meditate, take all of the energy inside of you. Imagine just condensing it right into a ball. This is where I'm pulling from my Tai Chi studies. Condense it all into a ball. And imagine all of the 8 billion threads just siphoned right into you like channels. Giving, imagine the emotion giving. That is the one you're typing into, tagging into the words. Why are the words not coming? Tapping. Tap into the emotion giving and push it along those threads. And when you inhale, you are accumulating and condensing all of your energy and then pushing it down and out, and you're giving it out. Heal. Heal. And it's a feeling of, I will heal everybody with love. Because that's all this is. It's just pure love. And it's taking all of that love and it's just pushing it out along those 8 billion channels. It's not a question of belief, it's knowing. You know, that's the difference. It's not belief. Belief is filled with doubt. With belief, there is a versus. There is a versus doubt. But with knowing, no. With don't knowing, there is no versus. There is no doubt. There is nothing. It's knowing. I know it. It's when you get to the knowing that you manifest. People are in the belief and the doubt, and they're battling belief and doubt. And then there's that shift, and boom, you're in the knowing. And now you know. Failure doesn't even enter your mind. It's not even a possibility because you know it. You're certain. You are that fucking certain. And I have all of this energy just like pouring through me right now. And I'm going, what do I do with it? I need to siphon it. And I usually turn to my partner at this point and I blast him with it. I go to crowds and events and people are like, oh my God, your energy. I had this wonderful conversation with a woman at the picnic on Sunday. She walked by me and she goes, you. And I'm like, yes. She's like, you. I grew up there. I grew up on the ethereal plane. That's all it is. I just grew up on the ethereal plane. That's where I'm home. That's where I'm grounded. Like I would dance in the moonlight and just use my body as a chakra stone. So that's where I'm comfortable. The purpose of a light worker is to heal the world. The question is how? And how is this? We either come from a place of fear or we come from a place of love. There is no debate here. It's your fear system or your love system. Throw out your fear system. Your fear system isn't even supposed to be around. If your fear system is activated, it's because you did not do your trauma work. It's because we were not adequately taught how to manage our 6-part mental system. I will be covering that in Triadic Healing. Go take a look at my course. It's free. So when you finally remove your fear system, you are left with only your love system. And your love system consists of your defense system, your intuition, your identity, and your ego. That's you. And these 4 parts of you, when they are up and operating functionally, you have this gorgeous energy of love that just pours and flows through you. It is beautiful. It is this beautiful hippie love, gorgeous place to exist. Now you have 8 billion threads like seeped right into you, all channels and connected through the electromagnetic field. And these 8 billion threads are people on the other end. When you manifest and when you have intuition, you're not pulling on the energy field outside. You are pulling on all of the individual threads attached to everybody else in the world. Everybody else is linked to all of you. We are all connected. That's literally what it means. When you reach the 6th perspective, your hippocampus becomes a satellite and you become a condensed location of energy and storage, which links to the electromagnetic field. And you are now part of our hive mind. Yes, we are returning to our hive mind. That's all that this is about. At one point, we used to be a hive mind, and something happened. I believe it was the Big Bang, and we got separated. When we got separated, well, that's when the individuality began, and it hurts us because we're supposed to be a hive mind. So that's why some of us have HSP. That's why some of us are ESPs. That's why a lot of us can feel the energy, and that's why some of us can't. It's because we all belong to a hive mind, but we're not connected to it anymore. That's what the electromagnetic field is. It is us connecting to the hive mind. That's why we have all this energy racing through us. It's why when we reach the sixth perspective, our hippocampus finally gets large enough to become a satellite and hooks up to it. It's because we're finally ready to reconnect with the hive mind. That's why we're in pain. It's because we are supposed to be connected to the hive mind. We are independent individuals, completely authentic identities, and we all make up the hive mind. Now, in fictions like Borg, like Star Trek, the hive mind is the Borg, and the Borg are all independent, are all dependent, and they are all lacking identity. And that's not what we are. In our case, it's our identity that actually solidifies our uniqueness. And it is our accumulation of our authenticity combined together to create the hive mind to make us who and what we are. But we can only pull it off when we are authentic, when we are identical in the hive mind and in our uniqueness. But our society has us conditioning us so that we are perfect inauthenticities. And that does not work, nor is it compatible with the hive mind. It's because on the material plane, we're all seeking connectedness because we are all seeking the hive mind. We feel drawn to it. We have to return to it. We crave it. We want it. We need it. It's home. That's what's drawing to us. We're wanting to go home, but we don't know this. We can't feel it. We don't know what it is. We haven't defined it. So you have a lot of foundationals, perspectives 1 through 4, trying to reenact it. And the best they can do is put us through this machination of making us all identical so we are all connected via our similarities. But that's not how we connect. We connect through our differences. We connect through the hive mind. But because foundationals, in essence, a bunch of children, are incapable of comprehending this, they're not doing it right, they're not understanding what they're doing, and they're fucking it up, which is typical of a bunch of inexperienced, naive people who don't know what they're dealing with because they lack the big picture. Now, I believe that the University of Alexandria had this figured out, which is why they had the curriculum the way they had the curriculum. If you go back and look at the curriculum that was in the University of Alexandria, it is the exact same curriculum I followed for my studies when I was 15 years old on up to now. And it's led me to this, which is the exact same place Aristotle ended up, and Socrates, and Jesus Christ, because they went through the University of Alexandria. It's all the same material. It wasn't about philosophy. It was about finding the ultimate perspective so we can all return to the hive mind because we are all connected, and love is the core of this. But love exists in our uniqueness. It exists in our identities. Unfortunately, the foundationals are all fear-based, and they destroy love. So they are so disconnected from the hive mind that it's killing everybody. It fucking hurts because they are actually destroying the very thing we need to hook up to the hive mind, which is pure love. So you have your defense system, you have your intuition, you have your identity, and you have your ego. All of these things create emotional energy. Emotional energy, it's one of my favorite topics. Emotional energy is the positive and the negative that comes out of your emotions. There's neutrals, there's positives, and there's negatives. Just like a battery with a positive and a negative charge. This is physics. And when you have certain emotions, they give off a certain vibrational energy. And when you have other emotions, they give off a certain kind of an energy. Knowing which emotions give off what tells you which part of the brain you are accessing. Are you accessing the scarcity side with pessimism? Or are you accessing the abundance side with optimism? If you are accessing the abundance side, it's because you have a surplus of positive emotions. And if you are accessing the scarcity side, you have a deficit of positive emotions. You are in the negative side of your brain. This is called your emotional mental environment. And it's going to determine what kind of a lifestyle you have, whether or not you are plugged into a negative lifestyle or a positive one. And it's all because you have an emotional mental environment that you are nurturing. Now, when we are born already made where we need to be, right in that positive emotional energy field. But conditioning from parents in the fourth perspective tells us we need to switch the polarity over to negativity, and they do, and we do. And now we are in scarcity mindset with poverty. Now we live like everybody else in the fourth perspective, being fucking miserable. So when we go through healing, there's a few of us who are black sheep and we come out of that hellhole. And the first thing we want to do is heal ourselves, but we have no idea what this means or what it looks like. What it means and what it looks like is us actually reversing the polarity of our subconscious mind so that we go from negative thinking over to positive thinking, back to where we were when we were born. Now, in addition to that, we're also stripping away all of the societal expectations that our parents slapped onto us, taking away and stripping away our love system. So my goal is to restore your love system completely, strip away all the garbage that everyone put on top of it, and get your reversed polarity back to where it needs to be on that positive side so that you sit in abundance, so that more importantly, you have a positive emotional, mental environment inside of your mind. Now, once you get to that point, you're ready to manifest world peace. You're ready to hook up to the hive mind. You're ready to align. Mercury retrograde is going to feel great to you because you are in alignment with it. You're going to hook back up to the hive mind, and you are going to take all of that positive energy and push it out through those 8 billion threads. That's how we're going to do this. And if we all accumulate our manifestation on the same day, on the exact same point of I want world peace, oh, I will get world peace. And this is how. By absolutely manifesting it, all synchronized with the triadic healing that's correcting the polarity in everybody's mind and removing the expectations that society has put on us. So we literally eliminate violence, we eliminate mental illness, we eliminate pain because we now understand it. We understand the source of it because it's all coming down to your belief system, which is part of the cognitive core. Once you understand all of this in its simplicity, you have one half of the solution to living a proper life. The other half is just remembering who you are. And that's it, just understanding and remembering. That's all it is. And because so many people don't understand, because you have a lot of toxic psychologists out there, you have a lot of incompetence, you have a lot of, and this is where I just need to really be realistic, because they don't know, because they are ignorant on psychology, they're giving the wrong information, they're guessing, and they're wrong. And as a result, no one understands psychology over there. No one understands psychology over there. So people are in therapy for 20 years. There's a lot of things that just aren't happening that need to happen because no one really gets it over there, because they're using piss poor quality psychology, because they don't get it, because they lack understanding, because you need the big picture to understand this. And you don't get the big picture until you are at least at level 7 psychology, level 7 stage of growth. Most of those people are at stage 4 growth. So you've got a bunch of stage 4s trying to tell the world how to live. You've got a bunch of stage 4s hypothesizing what they think the world should be. Here I am over on my 10th perspective going, yeah, you guys have got a lot wrong. So taking your positive energy, accumulating it all, and then envisioning it. Imagination is the core to all of this. There is, when you break it all down, the whole world comes down to one word, and that's imagination. And you take imagination and you just imagine pushing all of that positive energy through the 8 billion threads. And you just imagine that energy flowing and traveling to all the people in the world. And they receive that positive energy. They receive your positive pulse. And all of us do that. And that's on the days where everyone says, you know, it just feels like a good day today, you know? And everyone just feels like they're in a better mood. It's because people are coming together and they're pushing that positive energy out through those 8 billion threads into people. Sometimes we do it accidentally. And then when everyone's having a bad day and everyone seems off, it's because we're hooked up to a hive mind and we're all sending out negative pulses. But if we're doing this unconsciously, if we're doing this subconsciously, what happens if we were to do it on purpose? So you orchestrate it, you plan it, you decide, you set a goal, you tell people how, you set a date and you say the solstice, the summer solstice, June. There's a reason why I'm choosing that date. June of 2024. We're going to sit down and we are going to manifest world peace, all of us. And we're just going to focus for 3 solid days during the solstice on pushing positive energy through those 8 billion threads into people, while we think wonderful things like, we will see world peace. We will see world peace. We will absolutely see it. Because there is a shift coming. It's already started. And the best part about this shift is when the majority of us switch over to 5th perspectives. When the majority of our world population settles into the 5th perspective. Right now, the whole world is 4th perspective. And the difference between 4th and 5th perspective is 2 things. 4th perspective and under does not like growth. 5th perspective and higher values growth. Perspectives 4th and under do not value education. Perspectives 5th and higher value education. So when that shift happens, when the majority of our population becomes 5th perspective, the world is going to change. We're all going to go, whoa, we need to prioritize growth and we need to change our education system. And when that happens, all of the 4th perspective material is going to be thrown out because it's garbage. It's going to become obsolete. We're going to see a massive rise in entrepreneurs around the globe. People are going to come up with some really fucking crazy ideas for home businesses. And it's going to be so fucking epic because every one of them is going to be completely, absolutely saturated with an identity. And you are going to see some really amazing shit unfold. And that's going to inspire other people, including you, to say, well, if they can do that for a job, then why can't I do my crazy shit idea for a job? Oh, that would be so awesome. So instead of you saying things like, I want to be a podcaster when I grow up, you realize that podcasting is just a very small tool and that isn't actually you at all, because what you really are is an oral historian. Now you're just using elements of business to piece together an idea of what you actually want to do. And it's just one little part of your big picture because you are the identity at its core, because you've tapped into it finally and you know who you are. We're going to see a lot of those businesses all over the place. And suddenly, it's going to really change the way we think about business. The 9 to 5 is going to go away. Time and urgency is going to completely disintegrate. We're not going to see time or urgency. As a result, bills being paid is going to be really lax. Suddenly it's, yeah, when you get around to it, who really gives a shit if your bills are paid on time? That's the future. Because the concept of time and urgency is all 5th perspective abstract. I need to project my control onto other people. And that's going to go away. Because when the 4th perspectives start to pass on, there's going to be this massive shift. And we're going to go, why is everything so urgent? Why is everything so? And it's because 4th perspectives and under were obsessed with projecting their insecurities onto other people by implementing their ways and methods of control. So they did timestamps, they did controlling through urgency, controlling through time, controlling through the hierarchy and making sure everyone, it's all going to go away. All of it's going to go away. All of it. The concept of gender is going to start merging. It already has started, where it kind of doesn't matter what your gender is. Labels go away. We're going to stop using terms like mother and father. We're going to start calling people nurturer and provider. And we're going to acknowledge that we are both of those inside of us, that everybody is unisex. And that's really it. At the end of the day, we are all unisex. And we're going to realize that it's all about a percentage. Well, how much of it are you? And we're going to feel and tune into that energy. So we're going to gravitate more and more toward the right energy. And that's going to match us up. It's going to solidify who we are. And our authenticity is going to be even more fortified, more secure. And when you look at the future that awaits us like that, we start to question why we do the things we do. You really step back and you're going to say, if it doesn't feel good, and if it doesn't feel right, and if it doesn't give me joy, why am I doing it? And suddenly the fear of nonconformity is going to vanish, because the rule is going to become nonconformity. Oh my God, that is exactly what's happening in our future. Nonconformity is going to become the normal. And then the fear of perspective abuse is going to vanish, because the minorities The people who abuse you for being different are going to become the minority. And suddenly, when you have the majority of a culture that celebrates, not just tolerates, celebrates difference and embraces the nonconformist, how different can you be? Show me your difference and I'll show you mine. That's the society we're walking into. That is what our future awaits. This is called hope for mankind because this is what's ahead. And I can see it so fucking clearly. All we have to do now is sit back and respect the millennials, respect the Gen Zs, because this is all just moving in that direction. It's already started. All you have to do is fix yourself. Relax. It's falling into place. Trust the process. The universe has us covered. By the way, the universe is everybody. We are the universe. That's what these 8 billion threads are. That's the universe. So it's you and your relativity to everybody else. It's you versus your relativity to the universe. And the universe is just everybody else in your world. And it's like this massive understanding that you are, not because you're solo or the best, or you're up there in hierarchy. No. It's because you are the individual and the identity in one of 8 billion. I have said, and I will always say, that every single person on this planet is worth 8 billion people. And we are. Every person is worth 8 billion of us. And it's not a versus. It's not a competition. That's the patriarchy. It's not you versus them. It's all of us. And your identity is not just one part. Your identity is your part and the relativity to the universe. And that's it. Your identity is only one half of who you are. Your other part of your identity is everybody else and how you interact with it. So, how do you interact with it? How do you interact with it? Are you pushing that positive energy right into those 8 billion threads? Or are you competing with those 8 billion threads? Are you trying to rip apart the 8 billion threads so you can stand on their ashes so you can get higher? Or are you nurturing those other 8 billion threads because you understand that those other 8 billion threads are just you? That's why you feel the intuition. The intuition is not the universe. The intuition is not a fucking God. The intuition is everybody else. You're feeling how everybody else moves with you. And when you say things like, I want $1 million, you're feeling the right threads pulling at you that's going to be able to help you with that because you've experienced humility, you have embraced the third perspective ethic, and you understand what your limitations are. And when you can only take yourself so further to a certain point, and you say, you know what, this is as far as I can do alone. Now it's time to pull on my 8 billion brethren because they are the other half of you. And when you find that one person who comes together and absolutely unites with your soul, that isn't because they are your soulmate. That does not imply that the other 8 billion aren't a part of you. It just implies that, oh, look at that. In this whole thing that we're choreographing, you're the person I get to stand beside. That's all it is. You just get to stand next to somebody who's your assigned partner in all of this. It is assigned. The universe has it all figured out. It's like we all had this fixed net. And then the Big Bang happened. I'm still trying to figure out why. The Big Bang happened and we went boom and we scattered. And now the energies are just trying to shuffle and figure out their spot. And the ones, HSPs, who are really tuned into this are being drawn. And where we're being drawn to is that exact location in this massive 8 billion people net going, aha, this is my fixed point. And my partner is right next to me. So we are a tuning fork. Together, we are a tuning fork. That's all it is. You have a tuning fork. You are one part of a tuning fork. But tuning forks are two-toned. So you're just looking for your other tone to your fork. And it's not that they're any different. It's not that they're, again, this hierarchy. It's just that your frequencies are so freaking tuned into each other that you vibrate on such a level that you are in sync when you come together. Because you found your tuning fork. Well, you found your other prawn and now you're together and you're like, there's my tuning fork. And then you figure out your position and you put your feet down in the ground and you hook up to that gorgeous net, and suddenly you are part of the hive mind and you are leading this thing. You are part of it. You're hooked up. And the message is, we are absolutely one. And we really need to start connecting the energy, because that is home. And that's when really awesome shit starts to happen. That's when perspective 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 come into place. And then 13 and up to 18. That's a whole nother realm. And I cannot wait to get there. And I can wait. But we got to do this first. So, light workers. It's meditation. Triadic healing, because you've got to clear out the fear system. This is not going to work. You cannot hook up to the hive mind with a fear system intact. You will fucking damage it. You cannot damage the hive mind with your fear system. Fear system must exist outside of the hive mind. You only get to the hive mind when you accumulate all of the love and the positivity. You've got to be running 100% on your love system. So once your love system is restored and your fear system is disciplined and shut down and out of the message, then you're going to gain access to the hive mind. You're going to come together with that gorgeous electromagnetic field. Your hippocampus is going to hook right up into it. You're going to feel like, oh my God, that's the whole purging. The sixth perspective is what I call the purging. It's all of the inauthenticity being purged out of you. That is why sixth perspectives really get messed up with Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde really does a great job activating the hive mind and just pulling on the electromagnetic field. And if you are hooked up to that and you have any inauthenticity inside of you, it's going to just pour and purge that toxin out of you. It's painful if you're not prepared for it. To get prepared for it, purge all that toxin and inauthenticity before you get to the sixth perspective. Because once you get to the sixth perspective and then your hippocampus gets large enough, it's going to hook right up and it'll feel so fucking good. It's amazing. Stepping into it for the first time is like, oh, so this is home. This is where I've been trying to get to my whole life. I've just been wanting to get back to the hive mind. Look at that. I am connected. Now you've got human connection. Human connection is when your energy connects with another person. And the only way your energy connects with another person is through emotions, through feelings, because your feelings are charged with energy. It's called emotional energy. And when you give someone your vulnerability, what you're really doing is giving them your emotions, and you are giving them emotional connection with the emotional energy so that they feel your energy. And now you're connected. Now you feel complete because you are tapping into the energy field. Now you feel home. That's what we're craving. That's how you get it. So that's what I teach in Triadic Healing. The first part is just about cleansing yourself of all the toxins so you can get to authenticity. The second part focuses on the light work and how we're all connecting to the hive mind and how to manifest and do all this awesome shit on a level. How you interact with other people who are also in the hive mind. Yeah, I get into ESP, I get into a lot of things because you're able to read the energy that comes in from other people. You're able to figure out and feel individual threads. Once you are so tuned into your self-sailing system, that's your identity, your intuition, and your ego, you can just shift and move and feel, but you can't do it if you are trying to appease a system, because the whim and the system are incompatible. You want this, you've got to be totally and completely grounded in your intuition and your whim, because your whim is your entire self-sailing system. It's your identity popping off like a 2-year-old going, I want an ice cream. And it's your intuition saying, let's go. And you follow because that's where the whim carries you. But fourth perspectives love their rules and they're projecting their insecurities onto you by trying to control you. And that gets in the way of your intuition. So that's really what's the problem here is you've got your intuition, your identity, you have your whim, and you've got society saying you're not allowed. And you're born with this beautiful whim. That's why I love children. They're all over the place. You're born with this gorgeous whim and you're running all over the place. But the system is sitting there suppressing you, pushing you down, saying, no, whims aren't allowed. Destroy the self-sailing system. Here's your mask. Conform. And that's how we're raised. Now, some of us take to this like it's not a problem. Some of us are so dead set on making sure mommy and daddy are happy and proud. You know, there's going to be a point where mommy and daddy is sixth and seventh perspective. There's going to be a point, our children are going to be fifth and sixth perspectives, so that when we have children, Our children will be raised to celebrate their whims instead of suppress them. The age of suppression is literally at an end. We're at the end of it. And when that age of suppression ends, abuse will go away because perspectives will be respected, will be handled properly. And we will have the understanding of proper psychology so that we understand and value the fragility of a perspective. And suddenly our understanding of that, our growth and our gentleness, our way of handling our children is going to start reflecting how well we teach them to preserve, honor, respect, and love and nourish their perspective. Because we will suddenly gain the understanding and the insight of what kind of damage is done when you do not respect a perspective. So it's going to change the way we think about everything. And when we do that, we are going to become better parents. Our children will be better people. And our children are going to see the end of abuse. Because the biggest crime that's going to be occurring, the greatest offense in our culture, in our future, is going to be, how dare you violate someone's perspective? And that's going to become such a taboo that suddenly that's going to become the only law. You respect a person's perspective. It's going to become absolutely fragile. It's going to become our guiding source to everything. Hey, keep your perspective off of me. Are you violating my perspective? I'm sorry. Did my perspective just get on you? I am so sorry. We're going to want to hear other people's perspectives. We're going to value them. We're going to cherish them. And through perspective, we're going to rediscover the true purpose of story. Oh my God. And I cannot wait. And I see that chapter ahead. And I am just so fucking excited to get there. And then we will all be oral storians. Because when you are an oral historian and you embrace your story and your perspective and the telling of your perspective, oh my fucking God, that is when your true power comes out. Because you are combining speaking with your perspective and your identity. And when these powers combined, it becomes a godlike superpower. Yeah, it's extraordinary. I hear people saying, you know, they say that the best manifestors can say chair and chair will just spill out of their mouth. And I say, why would anyone ever want to do that? Why would you want to do that? Is that the best you could? No. That's no, not for me. No, I am going to tell the story. I would tell the story of beautiful trees and fields, and how this child can weave magic spells. And as I tell the story, you can see the child coming into existence as a sprite, throwing their magic all over the place, dancing upon the fey winds, and dancing in moonlight beams and sunlight. I would tell the story of how when she sings, things just unfold and her song becomes what is. That's the kind of story I would tell. And as I tell it, it would unfold before us. That's why we tell story. Because that's how we give birth. That is how. That is how we did it. And we have forgotten. Because we told the children to stop talking. Because we were hiding. So we forgot. I'm going to start telling stories again. Because I see all the stories. And I love telling stories. And we need to remember. Yeah, it's really time we remember. Remembering and understanding. Oh, and I just unlocked another piece of this. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to help everybody remember and understand. I've been focusing on the understanding. I forgot about the remembering. So that's what my stories and my music is supposed to be. It's supposed to be the remembering. I started composing music again. I haven't composed music in 20 years. And I started again, and I remember. And I'm scared. Not really. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I used to be beaten for singing. So I'm going to try it again. Because I need to tell the story, and I I remember so much. And I know other people remember too. But they think they're alone and they think they're crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. No. Your crazy is truth. And your truth scares a lot of people who don't understand it. You're not crazy. We all need to start talking about what we're all seeing. We all need to sit down and start comparing stories. That's what light workers are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be finding our safety in our storytelling, to compare what it is we see, because we're all at different perspectives. And you have information that I don't have, and vice versa. So when we start comparing our stories, we're going to start realizing that we're not all crazy. We're all talking about the same thing. And when we start talking about the same thing, when we start realizing we're not alone, we're going to start realizing how right we all are and how a lot of us are just remembering. You're remembering. That's why you're hurting, is because you're waking up and you're seeing shit that's just crazy. Trust me, I've been there. And you think, oh my God, I'm going insane. This is crazy. I'm remembering shit. I'm remembering shit way beyond my time, and I'm remembering shit way in the past. And if I didn't know better, I would call myself a god. But the fourth perspective says I'm not supposed to think that way because that's blasphemy, says the second perspective, but it's true. Because you're remembering, and it's not deja vu, it's breadcrumbs that your former self has left you. Because time does not exist. We're all existing at the same time in the exact same moment on constant replay, and it's all layered. And when you start to see the layering of time, and you start to realize that you have a future self and a past self and your present self, that's you, the ego, the present self, and you're all actually interacting, and that identity is really your past, and intuition is really your future, and that you are the three Norns. Suddenly, all the myths make sense at the same time. Because you are God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. And when the three of you actually work together, you realize there was no Father to begin with. It was all just a story, an allegory to teach you who you really are. That the gods we seek and worship are actually the gods within. And that it's the three parts of the self-sailing system, that allows us to tap into our power to be who and what we are, because we have forgotten that we are gods. Which is what manifestation is. It's just a God creation power. It's just the God creation power. Manifestation is just the God creation power. And we're remembering how to wield it. We're remembering. But with that remembering comes other things that we're remembering, and we're scared shitless of what we're remembering because we've been told that we're crazy. Well, we're not crazy. We're not crazy. They don't understand because they are ignorant. So you're not crazy. You're going to remember shit. You're going to remember some really amazing shit. You're going to be able to see all of time and space. And you're going to be able to see it all. And it's going to scare the fuck out of you. You're not crazy. It's okay. You're just remembering. And the other part of you, the God self, is waking up. That's all that this is. It's just the God self waking up. And when the God self wakes up, the God self in itself remembers. And the God self can remember things from all the way in the future that will be and all the things that was. And then you'll be able to see all the shit that I see if you're not already seeing it yourself. But it's safe now. It's safe now. It's absolutely safe to come out. It's safe to start talking about this again. Again, I say that a lot. We've done this before. We've done this before. That's a lot in my memory that I remember. The first time I saw all of this was in 2021. It scared the fuck out of me. It scared the fuck out of me. No, it was 2022. It was May of 2022 when all of this came out. It scared the shit out of me. And it took me a year to figure it out and realize what was going on. And now it's like, oh, that makes logical sense. Okay. So this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to just be out on the front lines here, showing everybody this is what it is, and it's okay. And I know it's scary, and it's crazy, and it's wild, and it's okay. It's all right. We're just evolving. And as we evolve, we are actually remembering. We're waking up. And we're not who we thought we were. We are not at all who we thought we were. We absolutely forgot who we were. And when you heal, that's really what this starts with. You start healing and you think, I'm going to heal my trauma. And you heal your trauma. And you go, wait, there's more. And you heal deeper. This is what it is. You start off here and you heal. And you're like, all right, I'm healed now. Wait. I'm restored. I'm human. I'm man. I'm normal. I'm functioning in society. Why do I have more healing to do? And you go deeper and you get even more of you out. And you go, whoa, there's something else here. And you keep digging now because you value growth and you value knowledge and you value education. And you know, you can feel it, you can sense it. And you're going, there is something more here. And you go inward. And the more inward you go, the deeper this thing gets. And you start to realize there is some shit going down. And then you discover the God self. And you go, oh, holy fuck, I'm a God. And you go through a period where you go, am I the only one? I must be the only one. Am I the first? And then you realize, no, you're not the first. Maybe everybody else is a God. And then you go through a period, this is the 8th perspective, where you think everybody is a God. They just don't know it. And then you get to the 9th perspective and you go, I quit. Fuck it. No, I give up. I don't know who God is. Maybe they're all gods and I'm a figment of their imagination. I love that stage where you're like, I don't have the answer. I just don't know. And then you get to the 10th perspective and you go, oh, we're both gods. You're a God and I'm a God. And there is my perspective and your perspective. What are you God of? That's really what I want to know. What are you God of? Oh, I can't wait for you to discover it. It's so much fun. What are you God of? I am goddess of imagination. Yeah, that's why my name is Imagination. That's my God name. And that's just it. That's when you realize you have a God name to you. What is it? Oh, I love it. Anna is my human name and Imagination is my God name. So that's why I'm Anna Imagination. I have people coming to me, is that really your last name? No, I don't have a last name. I have coordinates. That's your name. What is a name? They're your coordinates. Your names are your coordinates. It tells you who you are and what your relationship is to the universe. So what's your name? I am Anna Imagination, oral historian. Those are my coordinates. That tells me who I am in relationship to the world. And that is the healing journey. You finding your own coordinates. I give you a bunch of perspectives and numbers, but that's just to give you hope, to show you, look, there is an end. All you're doing is rotating these coordinates so that you become aligned. It's just hope to show you that you can use a metric to measure your healing progress. Because that's something I really needed when I was going through it. So I figured everyone needs that. So here's your coordinates. But what you're really doing is finding your actual coordinates in relationship to everybody. So what is your name? That's the journey, is you finding your name. And when you find your 3 names, you know who you are. You fucking know who you are. I am Anna Imagination, oral historian. That's who I am. And that's the knowing. That's the solid, I know who I am. So that's the future that awaits us. That's what I see. And every fucking day, I see us getting closer to that. And I'm just going, yeah, I can't wait. I do public speaking. And I talk about this shit on the stage. I've been talking to a friend of Tony Robbins, and he's been talking about getting me on stages. And I was talking to him about my brand and my authenticity. And I'm like, look, there's some things you need to know. I said, I've already had public speakers come to me and want me and invite me on stage. I've already been invited a few times. And the first thing they want to do is change my brand. They want me to dress up. They want me to watch my language. They want me to conform to the conformists. Really? And I said to him, my brand is authenticity. Everything I do is welcome to the age of authenticity. How the fuck am I going to pull off conforming to a bunch of conformists and uphold my own fucking brand? I am pleased to announce that I was told to fuck all of the conformists and to be true to myself. So I have this whole speech that I do called As I Am. I love it. As I am. Take my words, use them. As I am. And it's this massive celebration of your own authenticity where you show up. You know what it reminds me of? Adam Sandler. He went to the Grammys or the Tonys. I don't remember whatever ones is. He went to one of the award ceremonies, and Jennifer Aniston was like, "Why are you wearing the sweatshirt?" And he's like, "What? You told me to. I told you not to wear the sweatshirt." And there everyone is in these gorgeous gowns, but Adam Sandler has this gringy sweatshirt on at this award ceremony on the red carpet. That's who I'm going to be. That's not really, I'm going to wear a ball gown, but that's who, yeah, I would totally like, you know what? I feel like doing the hippie thing today. I'm going to show up as a hippie. Hi, as a hippie. I see me on stage going, can I bring my joint with me? Am I allowed to bring my joint? That is my goal. I want to be on a stage smoking a joint, hypothesizing about shit. That's what I do. That's what I do. And then I get these business to businesses tapping on my door, AKA my DMs on Facebook. I have a sales. Really? Did you research my niche? Do you understand that you are a conformist trying to sell traditional methods to the world's biggest nonconformist? You are so incompatible with me. You'll break me if I try and conform. Then go away. Go away. And there is the vial filling up. If you love shit like this, like, subscribe, follow. Tell me what part of the show resonated with you. Donate to the garden, help us grow. And if you want to join Triadic Healing, click on that link below. Get started on my website. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.